Foolish mortal, you have inadvertently tuned into the forbidden frequency. It's Zombie Astronaut's Frequency of Fear.
Oh yeah. Zombalina's out of town and I have the whole super secret underground base to myself. I have some brains marinating in the fridge. I've got some coffee. Oh yeah. And I've got lots of old-time radio to listen to. This is gonna be great. But before I commence my solitary man weekend being hyphenated, let me go through the mail really quick. Let's see. Need to renew my Brain of the Month Club membership. A bill from my dentist. The zombie's got to keep his teeth clean and strong. Some junk mail. Some more junk mail. Lots more junk mail. What's this? A package? I don't remember ordering anything. Oh, this is from Doc. That being said, if Dr. Despicable has sent me a package, maybe I shouldn't open it. The last time I opened one of his packages, I got the plague. Oh, let me see what this is. There's a letter in here. Dear Zombie, just wanted to experiment on you, no wait, send you a gift, I mean. Write back and give me the results of the experiment, no, I mean to say, tell me how much you like it. Hugs and kisses, no wait, I mean to say just hugs, Dr. Despicable. Well, let me check this out. Let me see what this is. Can't really tell from looking at it. It's got something on the side here. Dr. Despicable's Duplicatorator. Patent pending. Duplicatorator? Maybe I could duplicatorate the brains I'm marinating, or maybe possibly duplicatorate my coffee. It's very tasty. I kind of want to see if this works. Let's see. Press this button. Turn this on. Hit this, and... Holy crap! I can't see anything after that flash. Me neither. Hold on a second. You're me! Fellow astronauts, while I try to work this out, why don't you listen to a little old-time radio? It just so happens I have some old-time radio dealing with twins. Our first selection is one of my favorites, period. Joseph Cotton plays two roles, he and his twin brother. When one stands in the way of the other, the only solution is murder. The question is, what to do with a body? Listen to the suspense episode, The Pasteboard Box. You know, I think we could actually do the echo ourselves. I think you're right. Let's try that. The Pasteboard Box. 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 Yeah, that was pretty good. That wasn't bad.
Now, Roma Wines. R-O-M-A. Made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. Roma Wines present Suspense.
Tonight, Roma Wines bring you Mr. Joseph Cotton as star of The Pasteboard Box, a suspense play produced, edited, and directed for Roma Wines by William Spear.
Save it, Walter. Taking all of that I can. I'm through, you understand? Through.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I couldn't help but overhear you.
What's the difference now?
I hope you haven't quarreled seriously with your brother.
Quarreled? What else have I ever done with him but quarrel?
Oh, I realize he's a bit difficult at times, sir, but I'm sure he has your best interest at heart.
Yeah, well, from now on, he can stop worrying about my best interests because I'm getting out of his life tonight for good. Grabbed my hat and coat and rushed out of the house looking wild-eyed and distracted. I caught a taxi right in front of the door and told him to go to the 23rd Street ferry. On the ferry, I stood by the stern rail. I walked up and down puffing hard on a cigarette, looking out into the fog and acting nervous and jumpy. I leaned against the rail and bowed my head down on my arms. 2 or 3 people standing around out there began to look at me. Then, when we were About a third of the way out in the stream, I took off my coat, had my name and address written with indelible ink on the label, and my hat that had my initials stamped in gold on the sweatband, and laid them down on the deck, climbed up on the rail, and jumped. It was as easy as that. A fight with my brother that was loud enough so the houseman couldn't help but hear it. A jump off the 23rd Street ferry, leaving plenty of identification behind. An easy swim back to shore where I had planted my dry clothes. And a phone call to the news to report my own suicide. It was just as easy as that. On Friday afternoon, I waited across the street until I saw Williams, the houseman, leaving for his usual weekend. And then I let myself in the front door and walked back to the study. Come in, Williams. I thought you'd gone. Hello, Walter. Jack. What's the matter, Walter? You look as though you'd seen a ghost. Jack, well, haven't you seen the papers? I thought you were dead. Yeah, I changed my mind. Jack, how could you? How could you have done such a thing? I didn't. I just went swimming, that's all. Don't tell anyone I'm here. Yes? This is Mr. Parcell. Yes, I told you once it was broken. Well, I'm sure I don't know. I know certainly I didn't break it. Yes, it's still in the box. Well, I'll send you to pieces if you like. Well, that's a little late, I'm afraid. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. It's the principle of the thing. Besides, I'm going out of town. Yes. Yes, I suppose there'll be someone here to receive it. All right. Silly. Goldfish bowl. What? Oh, you know, I ordered a larger one, and it arrived this morning, all smashed up, and they were arguing about sending me a new one. There it is in that big square box. You can see for yourself. It's smashed. That's certainly like you, Walter. At the last minute, you worrying about a $2 goldfish bowl. What do you mean, the last minute? Well, you just said over the phone you were going out of town. Yes? What's the idea? Well, Jack, I was terribly upset when I heard that, I thought... I'll bet. Where are you going? Well, I hadn't quite made up my mind. I just wanted to get away. Taking quite a lot of luggage for just a little trip out of town, aren't you, Walter? Clearing the papers out of your desk, too, huh? Well, I simply thought I could get a little work done while I was away. Or were you thinking of staying away for a while because somebody might ask questions about why I jumped in the river and the answers might make you look like a heel? Why, of course not. Such an idea never entered my head. You always were yellow. You'd run away from anything. Jack, that's quite enough. That's right. Those are the truest words you ever spoke. And I wouldn't bother about packing luggage anymore if I were you. What? Why not? Because where you're going, you won't need any luggage. What do you mean? This is what I mean. Jack, don't, you're choking, you're choking. You won't need any luggage anymore, brother. It's like Cain felt about Abel, I suppose. There he was, lying on the floor, looking as though it was me lying there, only it wasn't. It was him, and I was glad. It's a funny thing about twins, being one yourself. You notice them more than most people would. And all the twins I'd ever known had got along good. Extra good. But not me and Walter. I hated him ever since I could remember. I hated him because the old man was about the only one who could tell us apart. And it was Walter he always called to him, not me. I hated him for what he got and what I didn't. I hated him because he was always good and I was bad. I hated him because the old man left everything he had to him, and it wasn't hay either. And because I couldn't do anything about it on account of that forgery rap I'd taken. And I hated him for the way he'd taken care of me since I got out of jail and thrown at my face every chance he got. I hated him for all those things and a lot more. And I was dead. And I'd killed him. And I was glad. You don't believe me? Brother, I felt great. I went over to the mirror and combed my hair over to the left side like his, and I locked the study door and went upstairs to the bathroom and shaved off my mustache. He was clean shaven. Went back in the bedroom and put on one of his suits. And when I got through and stood in front of the big full-length bedroom mirror, I looked a spitting image of him. No one in the world could have told that I wasn't Walter Parcell. In fact, I was Walter Parcell. I went back to the study. All I had to do now was dispose of the evidence. But first, I couldn't resist looking around. It was mine now. All mine. Those stupid fish he had all over the place in glass tanks, the books he never read, and all the rest of it. In his desk was a list of all the bonds and securities and the number of his safe deposit box and the combination to the safe and the bank book, all nice and neat. And on the desk was a picture of Helen Winters, the little vixen he was engaged to. And I made a mental note that I'd at least have to call her before I left town. It looked funny if I didn't. I might even do more than call her. Well, there was no use stalling any longer. It had to be done. I got the body over my shoulder and carried it upstairs and put it in the bathtub. I locked the bathroom door from the inside. Then I got to work.
For suspense, Roma Wines are bringing you as star Joseph Cotton in the pasteboard box by Joe Grenzebach. Roma Wines' presentation tonight in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
It was early morning before I was able to leave the house. I walked to the nearest subway with a suitcase, a heavy suitcase, because it was also weighted down inside with old furnace grates and sash weights. I got off the subway at Dyckman Street and took the Dyckman Street ferry to Jersey. About halfway across, the suitcase that I had on the rail, as though it was something to lean on, just sort of slipped out of my hands into the river. I looked mad and then foolish, and the people that saw it snickered behind their hands. Well, that was that. About an hour later, the same thing happened on a 42nd Street ferry. And the mortal remains of Walter Parcell were gone. All but his head. At first, I hadn't known what to do with that head. It wouldn't fit into either of the suitcases, no matter what I did. And then I thought of that box. That big pasteboard box that the goldfish bowl had come in. It was still sitting there in the corner of the desk. I weighted it and wrapped up the outside in the paper it had come in and started out again. The 14th Street ferry this time. I had it balanced up there on the rail just like I'd had the others, and then...
Hey, look out! Hey, it's all right, mister. I got it.
I let go.
Oh, I've got it. What? What's the matter?
I thought you dropped it.
Oh, no, here it is. Hey, that was close, all right. Another second and it would have been gone for good.
Yeah, it's been gone for good, all right. Walking across 14th Street on the way back from the ferry, people were pushing behind me, and the next thing I knew, I was in a department store. I was walking down one of the aisles just to keep moving and not to attract attention when it hit me right between the eyes. There was another box. A box just like mine. was sitting up there on one of the counters, and next to it was an old guy looking at some bow ties. I walked over and put my box on the counter next to his, and I pretended I was waiting for a clerk. Then, after a couple of minutes, I pretended to change my mind. I picked up the box, his box, of course, and started for the door.
Say, I say there. I say, sir, you've taken my box.
Oh, what do you mean, your box? Let go of me.
But it is. It's my box. You left yours there on the counter.
Oh, you crazy. Let go, I tell you.
What's the trouble here?
Why, this man's got my package and won't give it back.
Oh, shoplifter, eh?
No, it's not that. He left a package of his own there, but he insists that mine is his.
What's in it?
A parchment lampshade. I bought it in your furniture department just now. The girl would confirm that.
All right, what's in yours?
Mine?
Yes, what's in your box?
Why,
Well, we'll open it up and see.
No, you
The
can't.
only way to tell, open them both up. You think this is your package?
No, wait, I made a mistake. It isn't, Here, now give me mine.
Now, just a minute.
Give it to me.
Just a minute.
Good. Give it to me.
Oh, give it to him. It's his. I saw him put it there.
Very well.
Thank you.
Why, he acted like a madman.
Maybe I did act like a madman. I guess I did because I was pretty close to panic when I got out of that store. I started walking. I just walked. I don't know how or for how long or what, but all I could think of was, what'll I do now? What'll I do with it? What'll I do with it? I didn't snap out of it until I found myself a half block from home, and not knowing how I got there, all I knew was I still had that box and I had to get rid of it. Then I saw the sewer. A corner sewer with a big, wide opening. I crossed over to it as though I were going to step on the curb. Stumbled. I gave it a good kick. Slid in, and I heard it fall. Oh. I got home. A half hour later, I was just beginning to relax, and the doorbell rang. I went out in the hall, switched on the vestibule lights, and opened the door. There stood a couple of kids.
Yes, this is yours, ain't it, mister?
What?
We were standing across the street when you dropped it. Then we saw you come into this house. That's how we know. We got some string on a fish hook and pulled it out. It is yours, ain't it?
No.
You mean it ain't yours?
No, I never saw it before in my life. Now beat it.
Oh, then we can open it, huh, Johnny?
Oh, wait, no.
I don't know. Maybe we ought to take it to the cops.
Here, you give that to me. Give it to me.
But you said...
I made a mistake. I didn't recognize it. Now give it to me. Beat it.
Well, aren't you glad to get it back?
Huh? Oh, sure. Here.
Thanks. Gee, $5. There must be diamonds in that box.
It was back. The kids were hardly down the steps before I was out the house without a hat, a coat, or anything, running toward 2nd Avenue. I didn't care who saw me now. Didn't dare stop for a taxi. I had to keep running. I couldn't stop for a second. I kept on running up 2nd Avenue to 59th Street, going out onto the bridge. I was still running, and I didn't stop until I got nearly to the middle. And then I threw it. Out over the railing as far as I could. I watched it arc down and saw the light splash in the darkness as it hit the water a couple of 100 feet below. It was gone. No matter what, it was gone. Somehow I got home. But it was daylight before I could get myself to sleep. Monday morning, I felt better. Got up fairly early and went down to study and make my plans. Seeing the picture of Helen Winters on the desk reminded me I ought to call her. If Walter left town without even calling the girl he was supposed to marry, would look so good. There was no answer, so I hung up. Then I rang for Williams, the house man.
Yes, sir?
Oh, Williams, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I'm going to have to let you go.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear it, sir. If it's anything I've done.
Quite the contrary. I've found our association most pleasant, but the death of my brother has been quite a shock, of course.
Of course, sir.
I'm going away. I don't know how long I shall be gone, or when I shall be back, or if I shall come back here at all. So I thought it was best this way.
Yes, sir. When will you be leaving, sir?
Within a few days. There's no hurry, but I wanted you to be able to make your own plans. I'm making arrangements this afternoon to sell the house and the furniture and The associations here are painful, you understand.
I understand, sir.
My brother Jack had his faults, of course. We all do.
I know how you feel, sir.
But after all, Williams, he was my brother.
Yes, sir. Blood is thicker than water.
You're so right, Williams. That first performance left me feeling pretty satisfied. The next one wasn't so easy. But for things to look right, it had to be done. So after breakfast, I went down to police headquarters.
Well, what can we do for you, Mr. Parcell?
Why, I'm going away for a while, and I wondered if you had recovered my poor brother's...
His body?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. We haven't, Mr. Parcell.
Oh, I see.
Now, while you're here, though, there is something you might look at for us.
Very well.
This way, please. It's just a routine matter of identification, but we like to have these things on the record, you know.
Of course. Something you found?
Yeah, that's right. Fished it out of the East River this morning.
The East River?
That's right. The East River.
For a minute, I just stopped breathing. Because it wasn't in the East River that I jumped off the ferry. That was on the other side of the island. The East River was where I'd thrown it. And then I was all right again because I saw what he had. A pair of trousers. Mine.
You recognize these, Mr. Parcell?
Oh, yes. Those are the trousers my brother wore the night he died.
Uh-huh. Probably kicked him off and tried to swim to shore. Yeah, well, thanks, Mr. Parcell. That's all we need.
Very well, but you said the East River, and it was the North River where poor Jack...
Oh, carried down by the current and around by the tide. Caught in the propeller of a ship, maybe. Funny things happen in the waters around this island, Mr. Parcell.
Yes. Yes, I imagine they do. So, that was all right, too. When I got out of headquarters, I went across the street to a pay station and phoned Helen Winters again. There was no answer. I hung up. Then I went uptown to the bank, Walter's Bank. I'd never been in it before in my life, and I'd been wondering how I'd know who to be chummy to, but I needn't have worried about that.
Well, good morning, Mr. Parcell.
Good morning.
We were all terribly sorry to hear of your bereavement, Mr. Parcell.
Yes, thank you. As a matter of fact, that's what brings me here.
I see. Something about the estate?
Oh, no, but I shall want to get into my safe deposit box.
Why, certainly, Mr. Parcell.
Thank you. By the way, do you happen to know what my cash balance is? Just roughly.
Roughly between 32 and 33,000.
I'll want 5,000 in cash. I'll make out a counter check. You can forward the rest when I've made banking connections in Mexico.
Oh, Mexico? Well, do you expect to be in Mexico for any length of time?
Oh, yes, for quite a length of time.
Oh. Shall we go down to the vault, sir?
Oh, yes, by all means. When I got out of the bank, it was raining, but I didn't care. I liked it. I was walking on air anyway, and I decided to walk home that way. It's nearly 30 blocks that I was soaking wet when I got there, but what's a little rain to a guy with $100,000 in his pocket? Front door wasn't locked. In I went, and I hung up my hat and coat in the hall and was wondering whether to have a nice hot bath before calling Helen Winters. And when I saw it, a box, that horrible pasteboard box that had come back. For a second, I thought my mind had gone. But there it was, sitting on the desk. Wet and soggy, and the limp paper peeling off as though it had been fished out of the river just that minute. And then I remembered I hadn't seen it sink, and what the cop had said about tides and currents. Then the doorbell rang. I rushed to the window. There was a police car outside. For the moment, I thought of grabbing up the box and running, escaping out of the back somehow, and then I knew that wasn't any use. It didn't matter. It was some sort of a police plan. It didn't matter anyway. And if it wasn't, if it was just another one of those terrible coincidences, there was still time. Whatever they wanted, I could bluff it through, and there'd still be time. I pulled myself together and went out and opened the door. Yes?
We're from headquarters.
Yes.
You're Walter Purcell?
Walter Parcell. They thought I was Walter Parcell. They didn't even know he was dead. That was all right. There was still time.
I said, are you Walter Purcell?
Yes, I'm Walter Parcell.
You know a young woman named Helen Winters?
Oh, Helen Winters, of course. She's my fiancée.
And I'm afraid you're going to have to come along with us, Mr. Purcell.
With you, why?
Helen Winters has been murdered. And I might as well tell you now that anything you say will be used against you. The evidence is pretty conclusive.
That
you murdered her.
I didn't. I couldn't.
We found her this morning in the coroner report. She was killed Friday night. You were seen entering the place that night, and you were seen leaving. A gun that we traced to you was found in an ash can a block away. Now, what do you expect us to believe, Mr. Parcell?
Wait a minute. There's a mistake. There's been a terrible mistake. I'm not Walter Parcell. I'm his brother. I'm his brother, Jack.
The one who committed suicide?
Yes. Only I didn't. I changed my mind. I swam back to shore. I came back here, and I found Walter. He was dead. He killed himself. And now I know why. Don't you see? Because he murdered the girl.
You didn't report it. Where's the body?
The body?
Yes, the body.
No, that's it. Now, look. Everyone knew I quarreled with Walter, and so I thought they'd pin it on me. I thought they'd say I killed him. So I disposed of the body. Then I took his place. We're twins, don't you see?
Mr. Parcell, I've been in this business a long time, and I've heard some beauties. But I never had a man ask me to believe one like that.
It's true. I swear it's true.
All right, then where's the body?
I threw it in the river with the weight.
I thought so. Come on.
Now, wait a minute.
Come on.
I can prove it. I can prove it.
Yeah, how?
Because I've still got his head.
His head?
That would prove it, wouldn't it? Or wouldn't it?
It certainly would.
Come on. I'll show you. Here in that box, see?
I'd open it.
Sure. I threw it in the river, and it got back here somehow. It's still wet, see?
That doesn't look like anybody's head to me, Mr. Parcell. To me, it looks like just an ordinary goldfish bowl.
That was it, of course. The goldfish bowl he'd been arguing about on the telephone when I came back and found him packing up, running away, because he'd murdered his girlfriend. So, I don't know where Walter is now in those swirling tides and currents, but I know one thing. Wherever he is, he must be laughing his head off.
Joseph Cotton rocks. I don't know if you've ever seen the Dr. Five stuff. Are you kidding? Of course I've seen it. I'm you. Oh, it makes sense, yeah. Oh, welcome back, fellow astronauts. We were just having an intellectual discussion about old-time radio. Indubitably. It's funny, we're both fans of all the same stuff, so he's really good to talk about this stuff with. No kidding. This is great. You're darn tootin'. Now, our next story deals with twins, but in an unconventional manner. You see, one of these twins died at birth. Maybe so, but fellow astronauts, you know as well as we do, death never kept anyone from getting revenge. Robert had a conjoined twin, but they shared one heart, and one of them had to go. Yes, and it turned out Robert was the survivor. That doesn't mean his twin still doesn't take it personally that he was the one sacrificed. Yes, and as an adult, Robert is still plagued by this twin, who has come back to take what he feels is rightfully his. Listen now to Nightfall, the Repossession. Where's my coffee? I drank it. You drank my coffee? Don't you mean my coffee?
In the dream, you are falling, lost in the listening distance, as dark locks in. Nightfall. Good evening. When listening to tonight's story, you would be well advised to maintain full possession of your own particular faculties. The play by Arthur Samuels is called The Repossession.
Damn you. You died 30 years ago. Why couldn't you stay dead?
There was a debt to be paid, Robert. Something you owed me.
I owe you nothing.
Oh, yes, you do. And it's past due.
I'm not afraid of you anymore. Why should I be? You've destroyed everything I had.
Not everything, Robert. You still have something that rightfully belongs to both of us. I think you've had it long enough.
What? Oh, no, you can't mean...
Your heart, Robert.
No.
Our heart.
No.
The one we shared as babies.
No.
The heart you stole from me. I want it back, Robert. I want it back.
All right, let's have a reading. Pulse 120, blood pressure and respiration normal.
Everyone ready, then? Are we ready?
Ready, Doctor.
Nurse?
Yes, Doctor.
All right, draw the sheet back. That's it. Now, you people up there in the observation booth, what you see here is a rather remarkable case of conjoined infants, commonly referred to as Siamese twins. Your textbooks will no doubt give you a statistical indication of the rarity of these occurrences.
Well, how could they even survive
Many
like that?
cases are remarkable in more ways than one. You should know that in most of such cases, only one twin, that is the autocyte or host, is what we would call normal, while the other, the parasite if you like, is more often than not grossly malformed. But here you see 20-month-old male twins absolutely identical, both perfectly formed in every respect except for the obvious. Look.
The obvious is right. It's just...
Will you shut up? I'm trying to take notes.
You can see where they're conjoined at the breastbone. The fusion isn't our problem. This is.
I think I'm going to be sick.
Come on, you're going to be a doctor,
As you
remember?
can see, these twins share a single heart. Here it is, suspended outside both chest cavities. The heart's only protection is its pericardial sac. Obviously, both babies can't survive like this. So, I'm afraid we're left with a difficult choice.
Jesus.
One can live, but the other must die. There's no other way.
All right, let's get started. What God has joined together, we now tear asunder. Sponge. There, that looks clean. Now, what's the problem, nurse? Are you ill?
No, Doctor. It's just that...
Well?
They're both so healthy. How can you make a choice?
It has to be either or. Do you want to be relieved?
No, Doctor. I'm sorry. I'm ready.
All right, then. Scalpel.
Scalpel.
One can live, but the other must die. Die! Die! Oh.
Honey, it's all right. Come on, wake up.
Oh.
It's only a dream. Come on, love.
God.
It's all right.
Oh, God, that was rough.
The same nightmare?
Yeah, with a slight variation. This time I was dying.
Bob, don't you think you've had enough of this?
What?
Well, you've been promising to see someone about this, remember?
All right, Beth.
No, it's not all right. Do you realize what you've been like these past few weeks? If I say a word to you, you practically bite my head off, and the children are so scared of you.
All right, Beth, will you just ease off? It's bad enough without...
Does that mean we can't talk about it? Subject closed as usual?
No.
Just give me a chance to clear my head. I'm going to go take a shower.
Yeah, you really should clear your head, Bob. I mean, how long can this go on? I'm sorry, but I'm getting awfully fed up.
You think I'm not? No, will you just... What in the name of hell? Beth, come here.
What is it?
Just get in here.
What now? Something else to complain about?
What is this? Your sick little way of getting back at me for last night?
Well, what are you talking about?
That.
Oh, my God. I hate you. What does it mean?
Oh, you know damned well what it means. And how subtly you express it in lipstick right across the mirror. I hate you.
Are you suggesting I wrote that?
Who else? It's your lipstick, isn't it?
Are you blind? Look at the message.
I'm looking, damn it. And all I...
Can't you see? It's in your handwriting.
All right, Mr. Stroud, I think I have the picture. You've been having a recurrent nightmare, obviously related to the separation and death of your twin 30 years ago.
Yes, but the nightmare only began a few weeks ago. Why, after all these years?
Oh, any one of a number of things might have triggered it. Anxiety, guilt.
Guilt? Why should I feel guilty? I told you, Dr. Benner, we were babies. I had nothing to do with the choice.
No, of course not. But the unconscious doesn't differentiate between what you were or were not responsible for.
I don't understand.
Well, I'll give you the classic example. Two soldiers, friends or brothers, are caught in enemy crossfire. Now, one lives and the other dies. The one who survives is glad, naturally, and yet he feels guilty. Misinterprets his feeling to mean he's glad his companion died. Do you see?
I think so, but... What about that message on the mirror this morning? Can you explain that?
Well, I can try. Are you a somnambulist, Mr. Stroud?
A what?
Do you walk in your sleep?
No. But even if I did, are you saying I got up in my sleep last night, walked into the bathroom, picked up my wife's lipstick, and wrote, "I hate you" across the mirror?
I'm saying it's possible, particularly since you tell me the message was in your own handwriting.
But it wasn't exactly.
How do you mean?
I'm left-handed. My handwriting slants to the left, but the writing on the mirror slanted to the right.
That is curious. Tell me, Mr. Stroud, may I call you Robert?
Sure.
What do you make of it?
I don't know. But I can't help thinking that...
Go ahead.
It sounds crazy, but... that Douglas is somehow responsible for all this.
Douglas? Your twin brother?
I told you it was crazy.
No, not crazy. It's just illogical. Your brother Douglas is dead, Robert. He died 30 years ago, and the dead do not come back, except in our fearful imaginations and dreams.
So sure of himself, isn't he?
Robert, is something wrong? Are you feeling ill?
No. No, I just... Oh, God, I must be crazy. I'm even beginning to hear things.
Now, I doubt that. You're distraught, and that's all. Yeah, look, here's what I suggest for the moment. I'll give you something to help you sleep at night.
And what about the days? I can't work. I can't even think right now.
Then why not take the day off? You told me you're a tennis buff. Maybe a little exercise is just what you need to work off some of that tension.
Oh, Bob, I don't believe it. You beat me.
And about time, isn't it? You've been clobbering me for years.
Yeah, but I've never seen you play like this. And that last cross-court smash, whew, it was weird.
Weird?
Yeah, you played a double grip, right-handed.
No, you must be mistaken, Ted.
I tell you, you played your best shots right-handed. You've always been left, haven't you? Bob? Bob, what's the matter? You just turned white as a sheet. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You sure?
I said I'm all right. Come on, let's head for the showers, huh?
Yeah, okay. Hey, Bob. I was just thinking. Why don't you and I team up for that doubles tournament next month? I mean, if you just play the way you did today, we'd be unbeatable. Bob?
I'm left-handed, but the writing on the mirror is slanted to the right.
Douglas is dead, Robert. He died 30 years ago, and the dead do not come back.
Can't be.
What? All I said was that if you and I teamed up...
Just not possible.
How much proof do you need?
Bob, for God's sake, will you watch where you're going? Nearly drove off the road. What the hell's the matter with you?
I don't know. I lost control of my right hand. As though... No, damn you, no!
Get out! You trying to get us killed? You better pull over and let me drive. Bob, look out!
Oh, Ted, my God, what have I done?
You really did lose control, didn't you, Brother Robert?
Teddy, all right?
Yeah, no thanks to you. What the hell's the matter? I told you to let me drive.
It wasn't my fault.
I saw you wrenching at the wheel as though you were trying to drive us into the ditch.
No, you don't understand. I was trying not to. But he forced me.
He? Who are you talking about?
It was him. Douglas. It's been Douglas all along.
Hey, Bob, I don't think you know what you're saying. Your head. You must be hurt.
No. Ted, listen. Believe me.
Now, take it easy. Let me drive you home, okay?
Yes, Robert. Let's both go home.
Oh, Ted. Come in.
Only for a moment. I can't stay, Beth. Got to pick up Laurie at school. But I was worried about Bob. Is he okay?
I don't know. I'm afraid, Ted. Something's happening to him, and I don't know how to handle it.
Oh, easy now. Easy. Where are the kids?
I sent them over to my mother's. I didn't want them to see him like this. They'll stay with her overnight.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Where's Bob now?
In the study. He's locked himself in with a bottle. He won't even talk to me.
Let me try.
No, Ted, it's no use. I've already called Dr. Brenner. He was out, but his answering service said he'd check in any minute.
Doctor? What kind of a doctor?
Psychiatrist. Bob went to see him this morning.
Damn. I knew something was wrong. You sure you don't want me to talk to him, Beth? Somebody should.
Don't you think I've tried?
Yeah, I know. I just meant I could call the school and arrange for Laurie to...
No. You go ahead. Dr. Brenner should be here soon. Ted, I'm beginning to wonder if I need a psychiatrist.
What do you mean?
Just before you arrived, I went to the study door. I heard Bob talking.
To himself?
I'm not sure. And yet, I could swear I heard two distinct voices. I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's what
Come now, Robert. Do you really think drinking will make me go away?
Yes. You're dead, damn you.
And you're alive. And you'd like to keep it that way, wouldn't you?
Why have you come back?
I've never left you, Robert. After all, we are twins. Inseparable.
We were separated. By surgery. You died.
Yes, I died. Do you think that was fair, Robert? I had every bit as much right to live as you.
We were babies. It wasn't my decision. How can you blame me?
Oh, I don't blame you, Robert. I hate you.
Why? What have I done?
You've lived. I've watched you grow to be happy, successful. Well, you've had it all, with nothing but that scar on your chest to remind you that I ever existed. That you owe it all to me.
I owe you nothing. I'm glad they chose me to live and you to die, Brother Douglas, and I'm going to make sure you stay dead, damn you.
And how do you plan to manage that?
My will's as strong as yours. I'll fight you. and I'll defeat you.
I don't think so, Robert. I've had plenty of time to observe you all these years. I know your weaknesses. I can destroy you whenever I choose. But there's a happier alternative.
What do you mean?
You had a demonstration of that today. On the tennis court, remember? You're a mediocre player. On your own. Together, well, you saw the result.
I don't want to win that way. With you.
The point is, we won, didn't we? Think of the possibilities, Robert. 2 minds, 2 wills combined. We could do anything.
I don't want it. I'll shut you out.
You managed that for 30 years. But no more. Now I'm part of you, Robert.
Leave me alone, damn you.
Oh, you're upset. Why don't you pour yourself another drink? Yes, that's it. But let's use your right hand, Robert. I said your right hand.
No.
There. That's better.
What do you want?
Half, Robert. Half of everything you are, everything you have, everything you do. Share and share alike. Isn't that the way it should be between twin brothers?
You're dead. Stay dead.
No way. I shall live through you, my dear brother. Breathe, move, share your pain, your joy. And when you make love to Beth...
No way. I'll kill myself first. Kill us both.
I couldn't let you do that, Robert. Besides, from now on, our life together will be much more interesting. We'll have that certain edge.
Given him a sedative. He'll sleep for a couple of hours at least.
And when he wakes up?
I hope he'll respond to treatment.
Treatment for what?
Acute paranoid schizophrenia.
You mean he's insane?
I don't use that word, Mrs. Stroud, and neither should you. Robert is displaying the classic signs of a very disturbed, even psychotic personality.
Are you sure? What about Douglas?
Well, what about Douglas? If you're talking about Robert being possessed by the spirit of his dead twin, forget it. We're going to rid him of that delusion once and for all.
How?
I'd like you to go out for a few hours. Leave me alone with him. I'm going to try hypnosis. It may work.
God, I hope so.
Mrs. Stroud, Beth, I do know what I'm doing. is my voice. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Now, I want you to tell me who you are, your full name.
Robert Stephen Stroud.
Right. Now, once, long ago, you had a twin brother. What was his name?
Douglas. Douglas Dwayne Stroud.
Mm-hmm. What happened to Douglas? Hmm? He died, didn't he?
No. Yes.
Yes. Douglas died 30 years ago. Douglas does not exist. I want you to say it, Robert. Douglas does not exist.
Douglas does not.
Douglas does not exist. Say it.
But how can he say it, Herr Doctor? Obviously, I do exist.
No, don't do that, Robert. You're disguising your voice and playing a role, and I want you to stop it.
I'm trying.
Can't you see how hard he's trying, Herr Doctor?
Will you stop it, do you hear? You don't exist.
Oh, really? Then why are you speaking to me?
I wasn't. Robert, now please, listen to me.
Yes, listen to him, Robert. He's confused, you see. His tiny little medical mind can't accept that my words are coming out of your mouth, that I exist in you. Well, why don't we give him some proof, Robert?
No. No.
Do it, Robert.
You hit me.
Who hit you, Herr Doctor? He, Robert, or I, Douglas? Or both? Not sure? Well, why don't we try it once more?
No, Robert, for God's sake. I order you to listen to me.
He orders us, Robert. Well, I think it's time for lesson number 2. Let's call it 1 and 1 equals 2.
Robert.
A simple exercise in physics. So simple that even you will understand, Herr Doctor.
Robert, don't let him
1
take...
plus 1. My will plus Robert's will gives his right hand the strength of 2.
Oh, get your hand away from my throat. Let go. No.
Together now, Robert. Tighter. There. Good work, Robert.
What happened? What have I done?
Oh, we have removed an obstacle. Now, let's get rid of it completely.
What?
Get rid of the body. Come on, you better hurry. We've so many other things to do, Robert. You and I.
Yes, Douglas.
Doctor, it's Beth. I'm back. Dr. Brenner, are you...
Beth?
Oh, Bob, you frightened me. What?
Shh. Don't say anything. Come in here, please hurry.
Bob, what's happening?
We've got to act quickly while he's asleep.
Dr. Brenner?
No, Douglas.
Oh, Bob, please.
Even Douglas has to sleep. Beth, this may be our only chance. Here, I brought this up from the basement.
Oh, my God, Bob, what do you want with an axe?
Beth, you've got to listen. Dr. Brenner is dead.
Oh, dear God.
Well, Douglas made me kill him. He's got control of my right hand. Douglas is taking me over, Beth. We've got to stop him.
Bob, you don't know what you're saying. You're ill.
You've got to help
but
me.
I don't understand. What do you want me to do?
I want you to take this axe and chop of my right hand. It's the only way.
What? Bob, you're insane.
No, Beth. Beth, this may be the last sane thing I ever do. Now take the axe, Beth. Do it.
I can't.
Of course she can't, Robert.
You bastard!
How could she? A sensitive girl like Beth. No. We have another use for that axe. Pick it up, Robert.
No. Beth, run, for God's sakes, run!
Pick it up. That's it. Your right hand. Our right hand. Now, Robert.
Bob, what are you doing? Get away from me, Dono. Please don't.
I can't hold back.
Now, Robert.
Oh, Beth.
Poor Beth. Such a lovely girl. Too bad, Robert. If you hadn't been so stubborn, it could have been rather nice. Just the three of us.
Damn you. I'll chop off his head myself.
Fuck the ass, Robert. You know I'm stronger than you. Drop it. There. That's better. Well, Robert, all I wanted was to share what you had. To live again through you. But you denied me.
Why couldn't you stay dead?
There was a debt to be paid, Robert. And now it's past due.
I'm not afraid of you anymore. Why should I be? You've destroyed everything I had.
Not everything, Robert. You still have something that rightfully belongs to both of us. I think you've had it long enough.
What? Oh, you can't mean...
Your
no.
heart, Robert.
No.
Our heart. The one we shared as babies. The heart you stole from me. I wanted back.
And what would you do with it without me? Where would you put it? Your body turned to dust 30 years ago. Do you think I'm going to let you take over mine? I'd kill myself first, and you with me.
Oh, I suppose you would. So it comes down to a dog in the manger impasse.
What do you mean?
If I can't have our heart, neither can you, brother.
Oh.
So why don't we settle up? Once and for all.
No, you can't.
We can, Robert. Let's take our right hand.
Oh, no.
Direct it toward your chest.
No.
Like so.
No, please don't, Douglas. No.
Like steel claw.
No, God. No.
Just think about the look on their faces when they see this and wonder how a man could possibly rip out his own heart. Now, brother, we'll be together again.
Greetings, this is Taliesin TTLG invading the frequency of fear to bring you 3 of the best vampire movies featuring twins. Sometimes films mislead you. Take Hong Kong vampire flick The Twins Effect. You won't find a twin in it. The film's title came from the fact that the 2 lead actresses were in the Cantopop group Twins. That said, there are vampire movies out there with twins in the film, and they number among some of the best. At number 3, we have the budget indie film The Hamiltons. This gem of a film actually proved that you don't need a big budget to do a very satisfying, highly watchable movie. Unfortunately, by mentioning it here, I've spoiled the twist in the tale, that the dysfunctional Hamilton family are actually vampires. It isn't mentioned until the end of the film, portraying them more like serial killers. Two of the siblings, Wendell and Darlene, are twins. They also have an incestuous relationship. These are the dark sheep of the Hamilton family. They have no self-control and often attack those who will be missed or are traceable, forcing the family to keep moving on. We should note that whilst the twins in the Hamiltons are not played by actual twins, some films do star real twins, and the next two films are like that. French Fantastique director Jean Rollin used the twins Catherine and Maria Pierre Castel on a number of occasions. They appeared in The Nude Vampire, not one of my favourite Rollin movies, but they also appeared in our movie at number 2, Lips of Blood. More accessible than many Rollin movies, the twins are 2 of 4 vampires accidentally released by Frederic, and they act almost like guardian angels as he finds his way to the main vampire and his first childhood love, Jennifer. The twin vampires at one point pose as nurses in order to save him from a doctor about to administer electroshock therapy to the poor confused Frenchman. There can only be one film that tops the list of twin vampires. To quote star Peter Cushing, "The devil has given me twins of evil." The third of Hammer's Karnstein trilogy, the film had precious little to do with Carmilla, which inspired the series. However, it is one of my favourite Hammer films featuring vampires, witch hunts, and a gothic atmosphere so thick you could cut it with a knife. The twins are played by Mary and Madeline Collinson, who have the distinction of being Playboy's first twin centerfolds. They play 2 girls, Frida and Maria, who go to stay with their uncle Gustav Weil, played by Cushing. Unfortunately, Frida comes to the attention of vampiric Count Karnstein. Despite Weil's plaintive cry, only one of the twins is evil. Often sadly overlooked, this boasts one of Cushing's finest performances and is well worth your time and effort. To get more information on these and many more vampire movies and books, visit Taliesin Meets the Vampires at taliesintlg.blogspot.com. Alternatively, find the link in the links of The Zombie Astronaut.
Oh, it was kind of neat at first having myself to talk to, but I'm kind of wishing I was able to get back to my man weekend. Well, let me throw one of these marinated brains in a pan and... Wait, where are my brains? Where are my brains? I didn't eat those brains. And if it wasn't me, it must have been me. Hey, what's up? Did you eat those brains? Well, yeah, they're mine. Those brains were mine. I beg to differ. And what's this all over the wall? Ketchup? How in the heck did you get... Why is there ketchup all over the wall? Little accident. Hey, did you put ketchup on those brains? I happen to like ketchup on my brains, thank you. Those were marinated. Marinades trump condiments. Always. Always. It's a rule. Chill out. Hey, dude, why don't you run and get some coffee? You know, make yourself useful. We have plenty of coffee. No, we don't. I finished it off. You finished off my coffee? You... Fellow astronauts, I have to have a serious talk with myself. While I do, why don't you listen to this episode of The Unexpected? Here we don't actually have twins. We just have 2 individuals that look very much alike. In fact, they're the spitting image of each other. Mr. Billings has moved overseas, a move he made to avoid a lengthy prison sentence. When Mr. Wilmer hires him as a jungle guide, Mr. Billings notices they look exactly the same. And when Mr. Wilmer has an accident, it gives Mr. Billings an idea, a plan that can move him back to the States, where he would assume Mr. Wilmer's identity. Listen now to The Unexpected, 2 of a Kind.
Barry Sullivan in The Unexpected.
I walked into the room and met myself. Yeah, believe it or not, the man who shook my hand was me. It was a strange introduction, and although I didn't know it then, I was going to meet something else, too. I was going to meet the unexpected.
The unexpected. A secret future. A hidden destiny waiting for you. Where? When? Who knows? Tomorrow, today, an hour from now. Perhaps in just a moment, you too will meet. And now, the popular stage and screen star, Barry Sullivan, in Two of a Kind, a drama of the unexpected.
I closed my nostrils and tried to breathe through my mouth, but it didn't make any difference. The city of Belém-Pará still stank. The odors seemed to live and breathe in the hot, lazy afternoon. The odors of Indians and refuse, of bananas and piles of green coffee, of perfumed ladies hiding behind shabby lace mantillas, and over all the rank, exotic, terrifying smell of the jungle. The jungle that kept invading Belém, sending mosquitoes to buzz about your face with fever-tipped spears, dim gray moths the size of bats to catch in a girl's hair, great furry spiders to turn your shoes into foxholes, and worse than everywhere, flies. The small, droning flies of the jungle. I hated the flies, and the jungle, and the town, and the whole hot continent that hung along the equator. But the Amazon Valley is a better place than Leavenworth Prison in Kansas, USA. So I shrugged and pushed my way out of the plaza and on into the ornate lobby of the Pink Stucco Hotel. There's a half-degree cooler inside, and an electric fan on the desk was batting the flies around. I walked over to the weasel-faced clerk and made with a palaver.
Si, senor.
I'm looking for a Mr. Wilmer. I was supposed to meet him here.
I see, Senor Wilmer. What may I do for you?
Look, Pedro, I'm not Senor Wilmer. I'm looking for him. Savvy? My name is Billings. Me seek Senor Wilmer. Savvy?
Si, 1,000 pardons, senor. I am confused. Senor Wilmer, he is at far end of lobby beside palm tree.
The little guy shook his head several times as if he weren't quite sure that it was fastened tight to his neck.
He is most confused.
I left him puzzling about the intricacies of English proper names and headed toward the drooping palm at the other end of the lobby. The gray-suited man beside it stood with his back to me, looking out on the plaza. Couldn't tell much about him, except that he didn't look as if he was short of ready cash, and that was all that mattered. I walked up behind him and made a ceremony of clearing my throat. Mr. Wilmer.
Yes? You're Billings, I presume.
With that, he turned around and held out his hand. And when I got my first look at him, I felt as if the floor of the Palazzo Hotel were pulling me down in like quicksand. No wonder the clerk had been confused. Because Mr. Wilmer wasn't a stranger at all. He was me. That's right. Detail for detail. Hair, eyes, nose. Yeah, even a scar just in front of one ear. It was like looking into a mirror, only this time the mirror could move and talk.
How do you do, Mr. Billings?
I'm not so sure.
I see what you mean. Now that I take another look at you, it is a rather uncanny feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'd always thought the world was well off with just one of me.
I'd always felt rather exclusive myself, you know.
Well, let's get down to business, Mr. Wilmer. You wanted a guide to go up the river, I hear,
That's correct. The hotel tells me you're the best hunting guide in town.
Well, we'll have some good shooting. Tell me, when do you plan to leave?
Well, I'm quite keen on getting started. I've been hoping for a vacation like this ever since I came to South America.
Oh, you live down here then?
Yes, in Rio. Well, Mr. Billings, what do you say to our leaving tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Well, why not? There's nothing to delay us.
Oh, but you'll want to get some equipment,
I already have all the equipment I need.
Well, all right. We plan to leave in the morning. I'd better check over that equipment of yours, though. Make sure it's the right kind of stuff.
I've hired you as a guide, Mr. Billings, not a caretaker.
Huh. I'm sorry, sir.
Forget it. Now, how about a drink? To good shooting.
We steamed along the Amazon for 2 weeks, and then we turned into one of the treacherous and unnamed tributaries. But we found no game. Wilmer grew testy and angry and kind of hard to handle.
I thought you called yourself a hunting guide. Where's the hunting?
I didn't answer him. Wouldn't have been any use. You can't explain to a man that the jungle's mad at him, not to a civilized man, that is, but the natives. They knew.
A jungle not like Mr. Wilmer. Him evil, bad hunting.
I sat at table with Wilmer, watched his face that was my face. I watched it grow angry and petulant as the sun tanned it. Then I laughed. Because I knew the jungle hated him as I did. Yeah, that's what I said. I hated him all right. Because he was free and he looked like me. Because he could go home and I never could. Unless... Oh, sure. I thought of killing him and trading places. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But I was a hunter. And you don't hunt men. Not by the rules of the jungle. So I leaned on the boat rail and watched the river break away in front of our bows and smelt the jungle and nursed my hatred.
They are here again, senor.
Huh? Who's here?
The piranhas around the boat. Look, the piranhas.
I looked below, my face shimmering on the surface of the water then. The native boy was right. They were there again, piranhas. Piranhas, the devil fish of the Amazon. They'd followed us for days, sometimes losing us and then finding us again, but always following as we went deeper into the jungle. Piranhas aren't much to look at. They're just a little sharp-toothed fish about the size of the palm of your hand.
They are not good company, senor, I know.
Yeah. Well, don't believe everything you hear. They're only fish.
I believe what I see. I believe what I feel.
He held up his left hand. 3 fingers were gone, clean gone to the palm. Piranhas?
I see. I cut my finger and put it in the river to wash. Before I can draw it out, poof, only bone remains.
Billy, have you finally found some sign of game?
No such luck. Jose here and I were just telling fish stories.
Well, if you have no objections, I think I'll take a swim.
Oh, no, I wouldn't if I were you.
Why not?
This is a jungle river. It's not safe for swimming.
Nonsense. I've swum in the Congo and the Niger. I think I can take care of myself.
Yeah, but there aren't piranhas in Africa.
You mean those little fish? Well, they wouldn't attack a man. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Now, listen, Wilma. I won't let you swim in this water. It isn't safe.
Now, stop acting like a nursemaid. Let me go!
I grabbed his shoulders and tried to hold him. Then he slapped me. Not hard at all, but coldly, the way you slap down a dog. I guess my hatred got loose and I hit him. I hit him hard and he went sprawling on the deck. Then he scrambled to his feet, rubbing the blood from his cut lip on the back of his hand.
I shall report this incident to the Hunting Association, and I am sure your license will be revoked. Now, I'm going swimming.
He split the water in a beautiful running jackknife. Maybe I still could have stopped him, I don't know. But I'd stopped wanting to try. Besides, piranhas won't attack a man unless they smell blood. Oh, didn't take that. The water carried the scent of his blood, and they started for him. First, just a few dived for his face, following the blood along his lips, clamping their small bulldog-like jaws into the sockets of his eyes. I tried to throw him a rope, but by then he didn't have any hands to catch it with. The little fish were converging fast now. It couldn't last much longer. They pulled him downward with their weight, and his last scream went under the waters of the Amazon. His bones fell to the sill of the jungle, and I was myself once more. When I got back, Baleme Para still smelt in the hot tropic sun, and the jungle still crept in at the edges of town. But I didn't care. I was going to leave Brazil behind. Because according to the papers, Ross Billings, fugitive mail robber, died in an unfortunate accident on the Amazon. And his well-dressed employer, Mr. Howard Wilmer, was planning an immediate return to the USA. There was just one catch. I had Wilmer's clothes and his papers, but no dough. That, as it turned out, was waiting at the Hotel Palacio.
Senor Wilmer, it is good to see you again. It is so tragic about the unfortunate death of Senor Billings, yes?
Yeah. Say, you got anything for me?
Just this telegram, senor. It comes only this morning.
Thanks. I flipped it open with nervous fingers, and then I smiled. It was a money order for $500 American to be paid to Howard Wilmer. That and a message that read, "Your uncle, Morton Wilmer, has willed you estate valued in excess of $75,000, enclosed funds for passage." It was signed J. Woodstock, attorney at law, Miami, Florida. I looked up, and the sky was blue, and the sun was hot, and the flies were buzzing around my face, but I didn't care. No, sir, I'd had good hunting after all. I'd bagged the biggest game, a chance to go back to where the air was filled with the smell of hot dogs and steel mills. To where you had to shovel snow off the sidewalks in January, and where the flies were things that happened only in a baseball park. Yeah, I'd had good hunting. And the river and the jungle that had claimed Wilmer's body had set me free.
You think the story is over, don't you? But wait for... And now, now, Barry Sullivan in the surprising conclusion of Two of a Kind, a drama of the unexpected.
It was cool in Miami as the plane settled down on the soft green earth. And for a minute I shivered. Maybe it was the change in climate, or maybe I was just a little scared. Sure, I looked exactly like Wilmer. I'd fooled everybody so far, but they hadn't known him too well. I wasn't sure that I'd be able to get past Mr. Woodstock, the family lawyer.
Constellation from Rio, arriving at Gate 2. The Constellation from Rio, arriving at Gate
Wilmer?
2.
Are you Mr. Wilmer?
Yeah,
that's right. You're Woodstock?
Yeah, got your telegram, but just can't believe it.
Can't believe what?
You'd come back to the States. I'd have sworn you were smarter than that.
Hey, what are you talking about?
Of course, you had no way of knowing that we'd know your real name. You might believe the story about your inheritance.
Now, look, mister, I don't get this.
Of course you do. Look, we know that you worked for Germany during the war under another name, of course. You were hiding out in South America.
Oh, but I'm not.
Not Wilmer. Anybody can see you are. Come on, chum, let's go.
Where to?
Mr. Wilmer, where do you think an FBI agent would be taking a man who's a traitor to his country? Two of a Kind starred Barry Sullivan and featured Michael Barrett and Eddie Fields.
You thought my brains were so good? Why don't you eat the pear? I think a lot to do. Oh, yeah? Well, if you're so worried about what I've eaten in this house, maybe you should look in the fridge to see if I've eaten anything else. You have some ketchup on your face. Let me wash that off. Oh, you... That was my favorite finger. Wait. Look, we're too evenly matched. Just face it. You're stuck with me. No, I can't be. If only there was some way to take care of the situation. A completely implausible and ridiculous way.
You think the story is over, don't you? But wait for...
Piranhas! Well, piranhas. That certainly worked to my advantage. Fellow astronauts, will hear you again in 2 weeks over the frequency of fear.
This has been the Zombie Astronauts Frequency of Fear. For more horror, sci-fi, and suspense audio, see the website at www.zombieastronaut.net. Right now!
The theme song was written by Norm Bourgeois and performed by Papa Suede. The orchestral music was licensed by Big Fish Audio, and the end theme was licensed by Music 2 Hughes.
I'm so glad I'm home. What is this? Let's see. Press this button. Turn this on. Hit this and... Zombie! You got some splaining to do.